Hey guys, just finished watching Black Lightning, Season 2, Episode 5. So this episode was interesting. Now, we start off the episode, we get, the death of Gamby and stuff, and that's one thing, and I'm curious about this episode. If even throughout this whole episode, other than the reactions to everyone around him, kind of gives me like, oh, maybe there is, I still don't feel like he's dead just because it's Gamby. He's always been the Swiss Army knife of characters in this show. He's always had, too much knowledge, too much skills and stuff, and he always has an answer for every problem that they come up with for the show, right? And he's like, "Oh, Gamby fixes it, Gamby fixes it, Gamby knows this, Gamby knows that, Gamby knows this skills, and all this stuff." And we still don't know as to how he's able to have such an expensive car, and the car is bulletproof and all that stuff, and he has all this tech down underneath his shop and stuff, and we never see him really doing much work for the shop. So like he's making tons of money or anything from a tailor suit out in Freeland. Now, maybe a tailor suit like that, in a busy town type thing where he'd have like tons of employees type thing, which would be more difficult to actually have that secret, lightning cave type thing underneath the shop. So I guess again, I still don't know as to kind of where that all comes from. Is it's all skills he got with the ASA. I get that. But are they funding him still? They wouldn't be funding him still. No, he left them, right? So, and how much money was he making at the ASA to be able to kind of still fund all these, all this stuff that's underneath the building there? I guess that's one question that they never answered with this. So I'm wondering if they're kind of kill them off for that reason, to stop having to answer those questions. They didn't want to answer those questions. They're like, oh, let's just kill them off, and that'll stop all those problems everyone has with Gamby and stuff. Which I'm not sure. I haven't watched too many reviews of other reviews of Black Lightning, so I'm not sure what other people have been thinking about Gamby and stuff, but I think I kind of really didn't like the character just because I understand, he's the Alfred character, you need that character there, but at the same time, it's like he had too many answers for every problem, so I definitely can't wait to see as to kind of where things kind of go with him and see how things go. And since we didn't see the body, we'll have to wait and see as to kind of where things go. I don't feel like he's dead. He's too much. He always had an answer for everything for him. So hopefully we get to see him. And I feel like if they really wanted to kill him off, they wanted it to be permanent, he would have been shot. We would have seen him, maybe step out of the vehicle afterwards and then run out and then just get, completely destroyed, right? I think that would have made more sense. We actually would have seen it, but since we just didn't see a body, and it's not mid-season final, it's not I don't think it's a mid-season final, and it's also not a end of a season episode, so I don't think he's actually dead. We see in this episode, she ends up taking a job at the hospital there, the clinic that was almost exploded type thing. She gets a job there. We see Tobias we find out that Tobias in the case he had a bunch of files from different people, and he uses the files to take hold to blackmail some people and stuff, some politicians, or at least one politician there. And but then as soon as he said that, he's like, there's files in there. Then why the hell was the case glowing green when he opened it up at the end of last season? That doesn't make sense to me. So that kind of like, is there just a light in that case for some reason? Just because, there's files, let's put a light in the case. Why would someone do that? Put a LED light in a case. Now I could see them, if you obviously have a collectible in a case, you might put regular LEDs, not colored LEDs, bright colored LEDs like that. I don't know. But I guess there's a huge light system in that case for no reason. You see Jefferson later on doesn't believe that Gamby's dead until like later on see him in the Gamby's, Gamby's store type thing. And, he's kind of crying there, I guess he's kind of coming to it slowly that Gamby's dead, so I think that'll be cool to see as to kind of where things go with that, and where Gamby kind of goes, and how things kind of change and stuff. I think it's going to be interesting to see as to kind of where things kind of play off for Gamby and stuff. So we see that, then we see Anissa, she goes to see Grace and stuff, and she realizes, life is short and need to spend it with the people you really want to spend it with, right? She goes to see Grace and then hooks up with Grace and everything, but then she kind of sends her away, and then we see her kind of break out in like a meta hive type thing. I guess she has kind of tattoos, or she breaks out into hive whenever she's dehydrated or something. So I think that's really going to be cool. It makes you want to check the comic books and just look online there, check the wikis to see as to exactly what her powers are. I think that's really going to be fun to see as to kind of where she goes with her powers and how things are going to change, and to see as to what her powers going to be, what her powers from the comics, and how is it going to affect. I think it's really going to be cool to see that. We didn't get anything at all about. Speaking of powers, we didn't get anything at all about Jennifer. I mean, she's in the episode and stuff, but she never had a flare up or anything. Her powers never went off. She met Khalil a couple of times, or talking to Khalil, and that never set off her powers. She's nowhere near anywhere from trying to learn her powers anymore. So I think that was kind of disappointing. We're not kind of moving the story along forward. Nothing moved on with that. The situation between Tobias Wales and Black Lightning is still the same. Nothing's been moved on there, so it's kind of a waste. It was not a filler episode not like a filler episode to say, but like it really, nothing really happened too much in here, other than we do see more people are getting affected by green light. We do have the death of Gamby and stuff, but if he just comes back very soon, then it's like nothing much happens other than the death of Gamby. And even that happens at the beginning of the episode, and because it's at the beginning of the episode, and because they've built him up as this character, then every time there's a problem, he's always had a solution for everything. They take it away. They take the any believability that he's actually dead right out of it, because he's always had too many answers to every problem that came up, So he always is like a Swiss Army knife of too many skills and too many tools that he owns, and he knows how to do. He knows how to hack. He knows how to this. He knows how to sew. Like so many stuff that just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make it believable. And how is he keeping this all up? And when he's spending most of his time doing stuff for Jefferson as Black Lightning, how is he kind of making any money to be able to do any of that? Right? That doesn't make sense. We do see a guy that dies in Anissa armed. She's dealing with earlier on in the episode, we see a couple comes in and she's pregnant, right? And he's kind of a bit skittish because the building was threatened with the bomb. And he comes in later on and he kind of dies in Anissa armed, and then we see some sort of metal oozing out once Henderson shows up, and I think that's really going to be cool to see where things go with that. It looks like their trial that his kid does show up in the next episode for the trailer, so that'll be cool to see. It's kind of where things go with that. We see Lynn kind of loses half the kids in the pods. The evil doctor, I guess, she was working with, and was trying to convince her that 50% is worth saving some of them rather than letting them all die. So she ends up lying to Lynn, and Lynn sends her back to prison because she let half of them die. And Anissa, we see Anissa later on. Gets pulled over by a meta cop, or he's standing there and his skin is kind of moving, and then there's something flickering around, and we really don't see as to what's going on with that. It's just kind of like and then the episode just ends with her driving, or she drives off and it zooms in on him and it just ends, and it's like, what? Like a really weird ending. It's like, what the hell? What are they trying to do with that? And it seems like with Gamby, he was attacked by the ASA, and that's what Black Lightning gets out of one of the guys at the bar and stuff with the dreads. I can't think of his name, but so maybe they're attacking the Jeffersons now. It's unclear as to what's going on with that. We'll have to wait and see, but it just seemed a bit weird and so total like, what was the point of that? What were they trying to do? It's just there's no. It just seemed kind of completely like the meaning that they're going for it is completely lost on me, and it's like they didn't get their point across at all with that scene. So it was just kind of weird and terrible. So yeah, I didn't like this episode. I mean, the Gamby death is okay. It's early on in the episode, and because it's early on in the episode, it's just like, oh no, it's not gonna happen. It's before the intro. It's like, no, that'll be fine. But he's not alive at the end of the episode, so that's good. It's good that they didn't just kill him off at the beginning of that episode, and then he appears in the next episode. He appears at the end of the episode, right? It's like, oh wow, like that would have been so cheesy, as if he just walks in by the end of the episode and that's the end of it. Oh, he's alive, even though he was dead. It's like, oh, okay, of course. A character like that who's like this, answers to every problem. It's pretty predictable. So I think because of the way they set him up, it made it kind of terrible. It made the death kind of like. Didn't feel anything, because you don't feel for the death, because he usually has the answers for everything. But the rest of the actors kind of reacting to it was pretty good, and seeing all the other characters reacting to it was pretty good, and that was a really good emotional ride for the episode. So Some of it was good, some of it was bad, but it's like, okay, it's okay. So let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below. Season 2, Episode 7. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.